I went back to the start and started reading the origins of where our favourite heroes came from. So today, I want to talk about Amazing Fantasy issue 15 from 1962, the first appearance of Spider-Man. So in this comic, there is various stories, but today, we're going to touch on only Spider-Man's. It starts off with Peter just straight up being bullied and called various names, but then it cuts to his happy life at home as we meet Aunt May and Uncle Ben. But then, we are back to school to see how academically gifted Peter is. So off the bat, we go through all the integral parts of Peter and what he experiences on a daily basis to make him who he is. We see Peter ask a lady named Sally on a date to where she just scoffs it off, saying, "You're not my type," when guys like Flash Thompson exist. Peter says it's a great exhibit at the science hall and asks if anyone wants to join him, but he just straight up gets bullied again, so he just goes alone. We see the exhibit is one in controlling radioactive rays, which all fans know what is about to happen. A spider is lowering from the roof, and once the scientist turns on the machine, the spider is blasted with radioactivity, leaps onto Peter's hand, biting him. Peter starts to feel ill and leaves as his powers start to kick in. His fingers tingle, and while distracted, he doesn't see a car coming at him. But he leaps out of the way, sticking to the nearest wall, where he starts climbing to the top, crushing a steel pipe with his bare hands as he steps onto the roof of the building. This is where he tries to understand what happened to him, instantly putting together, it must be the spider. He starts plotting and planning and starts thinking about what his next step will be now that he has powers. And while walking home, he sees a sign for a wrestling match, offering money to anyone who can last 3 minutes with everyone's favourite Crusher Hogan. Peter goes home to don a disguise and reappears to challenge the man, inevitably lasting the 3 minutes. Once he gets home after this, he starts working on his costume and his web shooters. Once done, he heads out to make a name for himself to get fortune and fame. Starting off on live TV, he displays his fantastic abilities for the cameras, and once over, had talent agents just eager to get him and offering large sums of money for him to put on shows for them. When the door closes and he's back in the building, a thief runs past Spider-Man and a police officer behind him. Peter lets the crook escape, and the police officer, shocked, yells at Peter, asking why he let him escape. Peter says, "It's your job, pal. I'm sick of everyone pushing me around. From now on, I only look out for number one. That's me." Peter returns home to see Aunt May and Uncle Ben. They give him a gift. It's a microscope, and Peter is so thankful and tells them how much he loves them, saying that they're the only ones who have ever been there for him. Days passed and Spider-Man has swept the nation. Returning home one day after a show, police are at his home. He enters to find out that Uncle Ben has been shot and killed. The police officer tells Peter that the other police officers have the murderer surrounded and exactly where the murderer is. Peter storms off, suiting up to go face the man who killed his uncle. He makes it to the warehouse and is camping in a position where he can pick the police officers off if they decide to engage. This is the villain, but not Spider-Man. The murderer doesn't see Spider-Man as he creeps up behind him, then remarking, "You will never escape again, murderer. Are you surprised to see me?" The man, horrified, tries to run, but Peter stops him with a web to block the gun and a punch to knock him out. Spider-Man then webs him up and lowers him down to the police. Peter blames himself for his uncle's death, believing he could have stopped it when he helped the police officer stop the crook. We close with the quote, and this is the original one, not the one that we hear now. "With great power, there must also come great responsibility." Then the comic ends. So as you can see, most of the adaptations that we have got are very faithful to the source material. All of them, pretty much, have been exactly this, but just portrayed in a kind of different light with some different aspects and different things like that, but they have been very, very faithful to where he came from. So thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, subscribe to the channel to see more, and comment who we should do next and if you're enjoying this series. But until next time, comics out.